07. I'm Lens Nation, and in this video I'm doing a comparative design analysis of the Aurora MK2 and the original Aurora. This is not a deep dive into the design elements of the MK2 itself, but a comparative analysis if the MK2 carries on the design legacy of the original. I'm an artist, I'm a creative producer in real life. I've been drawing since I was a kid, and for the last 2 years I have created a lot of Star Citizen art which you might have seen here and there. I've been posting it, I've been sharing it, because for the last 2 years the spaceships in Star Citizen have been my muse, my motivation to draw, and I think 90% of what I've drawn has been just spaceships from Star Citizen. Before we go into the art analysis proper, I have something for you. It is my hand-drawn digital artwork of the Aurora MK2. I drew this in Procreate app on my iPad. You can download it on my Ko-fi. I still don't know how to say that. This year, I'm drawing every single ship as soon as it comes out. I will post the link in the description below or in the first comment. Please go ahead, download, print, and enjoy. Because my video is about art and style and the design of the ships, I thought it would be fitting to bring the gift of art. So yeah, I'm coming at this from an artist's point of view, as a lover of good-looking ships. Since the Aurora MK2 has come out, I've been flying it and I've been living in it, and it has become a very cozy place for me. And I just kept on making these observations, and I thought I have to put them down in a video format. So here it is. I'm not a proper analyst, I'm not an art critic, I'm just somebody who loves Star Citizen and who loves to draw ships in Star Citizen, and these are just my views. As a ship in itself, Aurora MK2 is majestic. But the point of this video is, has it continued the design elements of the original Aurora? As a design continuation, Aurora MK2 doesn't really connect with the original, for me at least. It's like we're looking at the fourth or the fifth iteration of the Aurora. It's like we missed a few steps there, like we are looking at the Aurora MK4 or MK5, and we never got to see how the Aurora design evolved into this. These two designs in-game lore, I think they are at least a century apart. If we want to take it further, I would say that Aurora MK2 has more in common with Scorpius than it does with the Aurora. If I showed you on a sheet of paper the original Aurora, Scorpius, and the Aurora MK2, and you without any knowledge of the ship names or what brand this is, which ship would you say the new design aligns with? And there is your answer. The new Aurora is like baby Scorpius. It's like what would come before the Scorpius became Scorpius. It's like the Scorpius MK1. No, actually, it would be Scorpius MK0. And that's what the Aurora MK2 is for me. And I have design reasons for why I say that. In any artwork, in any product design, you guide the eye of the viewer to its natural progression. When you look at the original Aurora from the profile view, the first thing that you notice is always the circular doors. The next thing that you will notice would be the wedge-shaped canopy and the flat wings. The things after that would be the awkward landing gear, it's like a dog ready to pounce, and the underlip going forward. These attention-seeking design details will vary depending on which direction you're looking at. From the front, the canopy completely overtakes your senses, plus the massive air intakes. The rear is dominated by the chassis frame, and of course, the wings are quite prominent. It's a very pleasing design from the rear. From the top, it's always going to be the massive rear structure, the wings and the red stripes. These three stripes play a very important role in the design. Colors, decals and stickers do matter. Plus the air intakes would be secondary, and then the canopy in the front. You would also notice that how thin the ship's body actually is at the front. This is all the cockpit is. Rest of the structure of the Aurora is not accessible. Of course, there is a sleeping pad in the middle. Now compare that to the new Aurora. In the profile, the round door is gone. our first visual identifier is gone. There's no more circular entrance. It's there, but it's hidden inside the ship, and it's quite a significant change visually that it completely changes the design of the Aurora. It doesn't matter from which angle you will look at the Aurora now, it is not going to look like an Aurora because those two glass doors are inherently the most important visual cue of the design of the original. But quite honestly, I can understand why the CIG designers decided to remove the glass doors. Because if they wanted to keep the glass doors, they would have to have them on both the sides of the ship. Because that's how the original design is. You can't just have it on one side and not have on the other. Then it will look even more awkward. And if they kept the glass doors on both the sides, they would have missed out on the real estate on the inside of the ship because they needed the opposite interior wall for the engineering panel. This design would need to be even longer than it is right now, and that will further remove it from being an Aurora. So this was a compromise which they needed to make, I think. A conflict of form and functionality. It's always there, but they both go hand in hand. It's understandable. The identity, however, is now gone. They still gave it a nod by keeping that hidden door inside the panel. That is nice. That's a good gesture. Secondly, the canopy design is completely different now. It's more in line with the new RSI design guides. It's significantly sharper. It has completely lost its lower lip. We'll talk about canopy more when we look at it from the front view. And the wings. Now, in the original design, even though these were never really wings, they were just part of the body structure of the Aurora, but let's call them wings. They were not only just parallel to each other, they were parallel to the ground, and they were significantly thick. In the new design, they have become wings. The bottom wing is unnoticeable from the profile, and it really only comes into the forefront when the wings actually open. The wing on the top is significantly longer. The wings collectively are now thinner and sharper as compared to the old blunt design. And the bottom wing is one of the most important design cues, which retains its shape and lineage from the original Aurora, which is not really clear here from this angle, but we will come back to that later. Let's have a quick look at the rear of the MK2. The visual language is completely different. The chassis is gone to make way for the modules, and the wings are thick and wide. Front of the Aurora and the canopy design is again completely different from what the original Aurora is known for. That hexagonal canopy, those struts, they're gone. Well, not going to miss those struts because they were very obtrusive in the view. Constellation, please. However, we are dissecting the design, the continuation. So we're gonna say, yeah, it looks very different. There's still nod to the old design. Look at these two wedges right here in the middle of the canopy. That's a very subtle and a cool nod to the original design. If the new Aurora needed to be more in alignment with the old design, the top of the canopy, those lines needed to be converging, but they are diverging in the new design. They actually create a parallel with the bottom of the canopy. It's aesthetically a very pleasing design, but extremely far removed from the original. The side fairings no longer meet outside the canopy in front of the ship, which again, I think they have done to give us better visibility through the canopy. No complaints there. Again, conning please. This is another conflict of form and functionality, but this is one sacrifice which doesn't really seem so abrupt if you look at the canopy design. I would like to also draw your attention to the bulky, massive design of the shoulders of the wings on the MK2. They really grab your attention straight away. The shoulder lines are extremely prominent. There are no more air intakes, however, you still have some of the lateral lines which still are kind of reminiscent of the old design. When you look at the Aurora from the top, that's where the size difference comes into play. This is not the feeble and the weak Aurora. This is quite a significant ship now. The design is very aggressive. Also notice how the bottom wing carries the design cues from the old Aurora in quite authenticity. That's a kind of a designer nod, which is just chef's kiss. The hidden VTOL thrusters have been carried over from the original to the new, and they are beautiful addition to the ship. This is one detail in the new Aurora MK2, which is the closest to the original down to the dents in the wings, and I love this continuation of the design. The old Aurora is a straight line. You can draw two parallel lines and create a body around it. The lines of the new Aurora are completely different from that. They converge and diverge, and they're more in line with the new RSI branding. And I'm very happy to see that the stripes have survived. Quite happy to see that. Those three stripes are iconic. But to be honest, top of the Aurora is more in line with the old design. Here's another not so subtle nod to the chassis frame from the old design. You can still see the chassis frame connected with the cover, if you want to call it that. The wedge is still there. It's not so pronounced as before, not so angular, but it's still very visible. And if you remove the modules, it actually becomes more in line with the old design. I really like that, and I appreciate that. Wish more design cues were carried forward from the old design. Looking at the ship from the top view, we have to see what it looks like when we open the wings. This is a completely different ship now. How good was that? That animation is beautiful. Also to the designers and the animators who have come up with this beautiful transformation of the ship. The design references and the influence of the ornithopter is obvious, but I'm not going to talk about it because that's not the scope of this video. We are trying to investigate the design influence of the Aurora MK1, not the ornithopter. But yeah. Now we have to talk about Josh Dare at this stage, aka VMXer, the original citizen, the original artist who came up with the concept of the Auroras flying with the wings open. As an artist to artist, I will say go to Josh's page, take a look at his Ko-fi. He uploads some really beautiful 3D renders, the cutouts of the ships. Those are extremely high resolution files and you can actually download them for your desktop. Now those wings always wanted to fly, but what we're seeing happening in the Aurora MK2 is quite a departure. They look good, but do they follow in the design steps of the original Aurora? Is that how an Aurora would have evolved? I'm not sure. Maybe, as I said, in a few generations. Those wings are beautiful, but they're too abrupt of a design change coming from the classic old design. In the end, I would also like to point out one of the most drastic changes in the Aurora MK2, not design, but its color. It's no longer grey and red as stock. The stock skin now is the RSI cargo blue and yellow, which is in line with the brand guidelines. Pretty much all the new RSI stock ships now come in the blue skin. The Aurora is quite close to Hermes as compared to Zeus. The Zeus blue is slightly shinier than this. This one is not. I'm not sure how many people are going to miss, but I did like the gray and black skin of the old Aurora with the red stripes. CIG are also releasing a special variant of the Aurora with all the skins, and here I am wishing for them doing the Star Kitten skin for the Aurora as well. That'll be pretty cool. And also the Dying Star skin that they did for Corsair and Vulture. While getting some footage for this video, I spent quite a lot of time with the new and the old Aurora, and the more I kept shooting, the more I kept falling in love with the new Aurora MK2. Even though in this design comparison I'm saying that it doesn't really carry forward the legacy of the old Aurora, which is true, I cannot tell you how much I really like this new design. CIG honestly have some of the most artistic designers, and I'm so thankful I got to experience these ships in my lifetime. When it comes to the ships in Star Citizen, which are very complex, the original Aurora is very simple actually. It's straight lines, a circle, converging angles, quite minimalist in its approach. The new Aurora is not like that. It's very complex, it's very angular, it's more aggressive, it's definitely not minimalist. If you introduce this as a Scorpius MK1, as I said before, I would be very much accepting of this as a design. It will immediately follow and make those connections in my brain. But compared to the Aurora, the connection is just not there. It's a game after all, it's not to be taken seriously, but I do enjoy this kind of dissection of the design and form because it's art and it's beautiful expression of art. Aurora MK2 is a great addition to the RSI family of ships because the older Aurora wasn't very useful, let's be honest, but the MK2 is definitely very useful. It's an extremely capable ship, very cozy, great starter, and it's going to give competition to the Avenger Titan. That's it for this art comparison. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a slightly different take from what we usually see about ships in Star Citizen. At this stage, I'm going to do the spiel. Well, share, like, and subscribe. Yes, please do that. And leave a comment below. Do you think the Aurora MK2 is more closer to the Aurora or is it closer to the Scorpius? Be honest. Let's hear what you have to say. Or if there's one thing in the design of the Aurora MK2 which reminds you of the old Aurora, what is it? Did I miss something? Did I miss a small subtle detail in the ship's design which was so obvious? Please let me know. Oh, and don't forget to download the Aurora artwork. I hope you enjoy it. It's a little bit of a propaganda art design, but I really enjoyed creating that aggressive poster for the weak Aurora. Alright then, 07. Put some stripes on your ship. They make you go faster.